It's a mad auction. It's going to be a mad auction.
Okay, that's the Mahendra Singh Dhoni. What does he still want to prove when it comes to not just men in yellow? I pretty much agree to this point, just because we have such a set team, especially the retained players. We can do the same. Loyalty or co. We have seen a recent announcement taking place of Rahul Dravid now being the head coach of Rajasthan Royals.
Players that if the 6 players are to be retained, we know who are there, whether it's Indian or foreigners, maybe.
We received the Indian squad for the Bangladesh series yesterday evening, but the spice, the heat, the entertainment lies when it comes to the month of April every single year. IPL doesn't stop, ladies and gentlemen. Despite our BCCI secretary now moving to ICC, we congratulate him, to be honest, but still has a job to do. That is the mega auction that is coming up. I have three of the best fans, the best analysts. They assess the game so much. Deepu, Gurpalji, Orko, welcome to the show. Two of them are from the same team I support. One of them is a defending champion. So I want to start with him rather. Orko, defending champions, but it's a new challenge now. Everything lies the same, just like it is for everyone. But what's your take when it comes to IPL auctions, mega auctions of a defending champion? Because you need to frame your team once again.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to, restructure the team as per the mega auction, because the amount of players you can back is obviously lesser than what you get for a mini auction. And talking about my team, KKR is not very well known to do well in the mega auctions. Like often people say that KKR takes around 2-3 years after the mega auction to bring their best playing 11 and their best performance. Like if you look at 2018, they had a very lackluster mega auction. They got people like Stark, Lynn. Stark went unavailable. Lynn was injured, played with a strapped shoulder and stuff. There was some panic buying and expensive buying, and we didn't do pretty well in those 3 seasons. But then the year before the mega auction, we went into the IPL final. That was 2021. And once again is the case right now. We have done well. We have become the champion just before the mega auction. That's the sad part. We take time to assemble our troops. That's where we required someone like Gambhir, but sadly we don't have him. But obviously the team knows how to do with it, and I hope that this time they'll change their mega auction strategy and do well.
That's where we come to next as well, Orko. That is, you do not have a head coach now. What are the options you are looking forward to? Being a KKR fan, I think first your target will be an ex-KKR player. Is it Owen Morgan who is the front runner at the moment?
Well, honestly, if you look at the mileage that fans want, if you look at the vibes that the fans are generating, every one of them want Morgan. But what I've also heard, that Morgan is someone who doesn't like to travel. He likes to stay at home, be with his family and stuff. So if he doesn't want to really turn up unless the night love which he has comes in, I think that someone like a Ponting would be a very good option. Otherwise, even Callis. But that being said, our history with Callis hasn't been that great. Our performances weren't that great. If you look at the 2018-19 era, where we were pretty mid-table kind of a team. So if that can change, it will be good. But if you look at what the fans and including me want, I would perhaps prefer someone like a Morgan. And if not him, then maybe Ricky Ponting for sure.
Okay, so you have given a couple of choices. Both are from, one of them is from England, one of them is Australia. You have your head coach problems. The other teams have. Gurpalji, you also now have a head coach problem as well when it comes to Delhi Capitals. What's your take when it comes to no Ricky Ponting now? And he has the services now to go to other teams. I don't think so he's going to be retained by Delhi Capitals, a call back after the success he has had in the MLC. But what is your take? I still want to ask you when it comes to Ricky Ponting being removed. Is Saurav Ganguly now the front runner to be the head coach?
As per the reports which I've been hearing from the different news channels and all the other channels, like what Delhi Capitals are looking forward to, they are looking for that same that what other Mumbai Indians or KKR, especially KKR does. They wanted to have a all India coaching staff, like your head coach, your bowling coach, and your fielding or batting coach. They need all India. They are looking for all India coaching staff. The specific reason given behind the same, the Indian coaches spend more time in domestic cricket. They understand the domestic players with the communication as well. Plus, they can have a good idea of scouting. See who is performing well in the domestic, whether it's NAT or in different leagues and all. So that is the reason behind Delhi Capitals' mind to change to All India coaching staff. So I guess there are lots of players in line which we are hearing. We are hearing name of Yuvraj Singh. Then there could be Irfan Pathan. He could be a good scout for Delhi Capitals. These are not sure report, but these are the players which can come into mind. Paras Mahamre could be a good bowling coach. As you know, Rahul Dravid and Vikram Rathod are already signed by Rajasthan. So Paras Mahamre could be a good option for bowling coach. Munaf Patel has been working hard with the uh, franchise cricket league, India Capitals. Hemant Badani is the coach for India Capitals. So I guess there are lots of options in domestic circuit. So let's see what
Yeah.
they eventually finalize. And Dada is at hand. Dada is the director of cricket. He could also be a good option for head coach. And we know what Dada has done wonders for the
But
Indian cricket.
is he a T20 material? That's what the question is. Is does he think T20 wise, Gurpalji?
I'm not. I'm so. It's not about like Dada is like that person. He could be a mentor, man manager. He could be a very good mentor and man manager. What Gambhir and other players doing it for other franchise. He knows how to get best out of the players. We have seen in the past what he has done for Indian cricket. 2003, 2000 when he got the captaincy. He knows how to get the best of the players and he support the players and back the players and back the youngsters, which is required in Delhi Capitals to back the players.
True that. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Backing the players is important, but when it comes to Delhi Capitals, I want to know a little bit more about the other teams. Deepu, what's your take on the other teams now? First and foremost, we discussed about the head coaches, but MS Dhoni, he's captain himself, coach as well. He's everything. Does he still have anything left in his tank to come one more year and play for the Chennai Super Kings?
As long as the IPL GC decides to hold an IPL final at Chepauk, he is playing next season for obvious reasons. We saw we saw the visuals this year at Bengaluru. So maybe that frustration is still there in his mind that just finish it off with a cup. And of course, the coaching staff is all set to be retained. Flem is not going anywhere, and the rest of the staff is also there. It's just that how they will retain their players and whether Thala will be retained as an uncapped or he has decided that he'll be watching from the bench now as a player commentator or whatever the role he's given. So yeah, that's going to be very exciting to
So
watch.
are we expecting another from 7:29 p.m. Consider me as retired from the Chennai Super Kings as well message anytime soon?
I think it will be a more of a midnight kind of a thing from Ahmedabad. I think
Midnight.
2 o'clock. Yeah, that around 2:31. Consider me as retired. Something like that. I'm expecting if
2:31.
IPL was not. Yeah, that was the exact time that IPL 2023 ended.
I wonder what you're referring to as midnight. What is he referring to when it comes to midnight and Mahendra Singh Dhoni talking about getting retired and announcing his retirement? Does he really think that? Is he really that indisciplined when it comes to outside cricket?
Well, we know that Dhoni is someone who you can't really catch because no one can predict his next move. I think even the way he handed the captaincy over to Gaikwad, no one really expected that will happen. Like it was just maybe 2 or 3 hours before that captain's photo shoot that was
Correct.
around, and he
I
suddenly
heard it was
decides
half
that
an hour before.
yeah, it could be. It could be even later. So it's pretty baffling as to how Dhoni handles that star status or the stardom that he has with so much ease. And he always happens to fool journalists and people who expect him to, quit at this time. He doesn't end up quitting at that time, or maybe quitting much before than people expected, because we never thought that after the World Cup he will quit after taking a 1 year break. So
Yeah.
that's what Dhoni is all about. He's very unpredictable. He always is ahead in the chase as he was on the field. So we don't really know what's going to happen. You may think that he's closer to retirement than not, but will he really consider himself as the same? That only time will tell.
But you're talking about somebody who has a lot of experience, lot of knowledge. Experience comes into factor. Gurpalji, I want to know a little bit from your end as well. When it comes to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, what does he still want to prove when it comes to not just men in yellow, but at this format, in this domestic league, at the IPL? He has played from season number 1. He's not going to come back to international cricket, but is he enjoying his time? Is what I can say. I can see and I can say.
I wanted to add complete different story about this. as I heard what Arko said and what Dipan said, the major problem Chennai is finding is who after Dhoni. Like they tried Ravindra Jadeja, but he was not successful. Ruturaj is not half of or 1% of Dhoni. So they are looking for an international keeper who is the best Indian wicket keeper after Dhoni, because Chennai is not looking only because of Dhoni. They wanted to have some player who can carry that legacy and brand building as well. For example,
I'm
if they go
sorry
in
to
for Rishabh
interrupt you,
Pant,
Paji. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but my counter question to you is: do you really think there can be anyone Dhoni 2.0 in the world?
no, they won't be any Dhoni, but with Rishabh Pant or Hardik Pandya or some all kind of Surya Kumar Yadav, at least their brand building, they can achieve 25% or some percentage of that brand building and loyalty towards the Chennai fans. That's what my opinion about this. Nobody can replace Dhoni, but जो नुकसान होगा, the damage can be rectified, or it could be a less damage by having a player like Rishabh Pant or a Hardik Pandya or Surya Kumar Yadav who can carry that legacy of Dhoni.
Deepu, he's talking about Rishabh Pant leaving your team, leaving my team, leaving his own team, and going to some other team. Give a reply to this. Come on.
So
Nah, that's not
they are
happening.
fascinated. They are actually fascinated. What I have hearing from the sources that Chennai are looking for a replacement for Dhoni for future, and they are looking for a top Indian wicketkeeper batsman. So now, who are the top wicketkeeper batsmen? Either is you can say Rishabh Pant, Sanju Samson, and KL Rahul. These are the top wicketkeeper batsmen. So that was my point of view. So they are looking very hard for the same.
Okay, fair enough. I agree somewhat to this, but I was coming back to Deepu when it comes to what it's your thoughts about Rishabh Pant going back to some other franchise. First of all, do you really think Delhi Capital is going to release him and not pick him on part of the retentions?
See, to be bluntly honest, I'll see they'll make a fool out of themselves if they release Rishabh.
Exactly.
As long as they have plans to get someone else in, but still, he's the heart and soul of the side. And what we had to see after a year went off, so it's better that we retain him. If Chennai wants, they can either get Srikar Bharat. He's a decent batter too, as and a keeper as well. So, ideal replacement for Dhoni. Uh, Man, it's just a fun way, but still, I don't see Rishabh going anywhere, and he has always said that his heart lies in Delhi. So, rest assured that he's not going.
Okay, rest assured, you show the confidence. But when it comes to loyalty, Orko, we have seen a recent announcement taking place of Rahul Dravid now being the head coach of Rajasthan Royals. They also still have the services of Kumar Sangakkara, somebody you can also eye up for the Kolkata Knight Riders head coach. Two good think tanks, two very respectable players. But what will Rahul Dravid now bring in to the Rajasthan Royals camp despite being a former player?
Well, I think the familiarity that he has with the surroundings, he knows the ground, the people, the entire management. That's what Rahul Dravid initially brings. And with Sangakkar, I think he'll form a very nice bond because they are two very similar characters who like to work together in a very calm and composed manner. And now he's coming in with the tag of a world champion. So certainly he's a celebrated figure right now, and it will only do good for Rajasthan. I think if you look at their entire team in total over the last 3, 4 years, they have been brilliant on paper. I mean, it's pretty surprising that Rajasthan hasn't won an IPL in the last 3, 4 years, even after having such a balance, the kind of bowling attack they have. They have people like Bolt, Ashwin, Chahal in a single team, and a plethora of young Indian fast bowlers. Also, good Indian batting talents like Parag, Samson, and Jaiswal as well. So I think it's pretty surprising that they haven't finished yet in that winning spot line. So I think that's what Rahul Dravid would bring in the table and try to get them to that championship which they have lacked.
And is the captain one of the most unluckiest player in the decade for Indian cricket?
Well, certainly you can say that because he has got a staggering average in his limited appearances in limited overs cricket. So it's pretty sad that he doesn't get his chances. But that being said, it's the case for almost most players in the Indian team. It's a sport of massive competition. So obviously you have to continue performing and performing big enough to actually make enough substance and noise to stay in the team. So yes, he's unlucky, but certainly he can have a lot of time still and maybe turn tables in his favor.
Absolutely, and that's where we can see a lot of other decisions as well. Over to you, Paji.
I'm saying, why are you calling him the unluckiest player? He's the luckiest charm. That's why India won the T20 World Cup. The Keralites are luckiest charm for the Indian team. Why? Srishan 2007, Sanju Samson 2024. We have won the World Cup. 2011 Srishan was there. The Malayali Keralite players are luckiest. You cannot say them. Oh, and he made India World Cup by sitting in the dressing room.
Oh, so you're saying that is more than enough to win your World Cup? Fair enough. But we are hearing a little bit of rumors about the purse getting increased, Gurpalji, for the mega auction. What do you think could be the positives or the negatives if you increase the purse from 100 or more for the other teams, especially the
So, for
teams that
example,
have not?
if I talk about one franchise, Mumbai Indians, for example, and what we are hearing is of either 4+2 retention or 5+1 retention will be coming. So you tell me, all four of us by heart, how can they return the four pillars of Mumbai Indians? Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rohit Sharma, Bumrah, all are number one spot retainers, right? Do you agree? Everybody is a number one
Yeah, yeah,
spot. Nobody is a
absolutely.
second or third or fourth spot. How will you take four of them? So I guess there's a chance of first getting reached increased to 120 crore or 130 or 140. That's not decided as yet, because with the 5+1, we don't know. One would be RTM. There would be a case of three Indians, two foreigners, or uncapped. That is not clear. So I guess the purse is definitely increasing. And the other thing which we are hearing in the retention is, like earlier in the previous auction, you have to say the first player will get 16 crore or second will get this amount. This time there is no tag. You can give any sort of money to the retained players. That is about your
I think this was
limit.
done before as well with Virat Kohli, the Rohit Sharmas increasing their purse as well. But
That was the
we are
other
also
thing. But this time, there is no special tag. First retention you will give 16 crores, second retention you will get 11 crores, third retention you will get 8 crores, uncapped को आप 4 crore दोगे. अब वैसा कोई tag नहीं है. You can have a deal with them, and you can stop them and retain them on any amount.
And just like we slowly and steadily moved on to the Pultons, the Mumbai Indians, Deepu, we have the services of the other so many star players. But is things right now after winning the World Cup all right to retain somebody like a Rohit Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah under the leadership of Hardik Pandya?
See, this is a very tricky question to answer, and to be honest, what Gurpalji said, all are number one retainers, but I still feel, given that Rohit has now retired from T20s, he's just gonna enjoy, and maybe we have to accept that it will be his last cycle in the IPL too. He's gonna be 40 in 3 years' time, and he'll be in the coaching staff, maybe in Mumbai or whatever capacity in other teams, but. I feel somewhere he is not going to be that first retaining choice. He's no more the captain, so maybe as a third choice or a fourth choice, or even though I have a slightest of hope that he's going to come in auction, which can make the things very exciting. And if the purse is going to be increased, it makes it even more exciting. Even though I feel 90 is enough, stretching it to 120, 130, it'll just be a bloodbath on the auction table. Teams will be
Absolutely.
splurging money a lot on the table. So I feel it's important that the retentions are to be right. So that it's important that the calculations are made perfectly.
But we, the Delhi Capitals fans, are one of the franchises who have not won the IPL trophy. So, if there is a price increment, Deepu, do you think it's an advantage or a disadvantage for teams like us, Punjab Kings, the new couple of teams of Lucknow Super Giants as well?
I think for Punjab, if I talk first, they'll be. I think they'll be retaining the least amount of players. To be honest, their foreign contingent backfired. Apart from Indians, I think it's Arshdeep, who's gonna be retained. Shashank and Ashutosh will be there, and Harpreet Brar. I think these will be the four guys who are set to be retained. I feel. Rest of them, they I think they'll be entering the auction with a big purse, as the history has been there with Punjab, even though they have fluffed it in the auctions along with RCB. So yeah, I think these two teams will be entering with a lot of purse. For Delhi, I feel they are the most side, they're the best side to they'll get a big benefit from this auction. Given that we have our player set, the six player set, if the six players are to be retained, we know who are there, whether it's Indian or foreigners. Maybe an Abhishek Porel can be an unlikely
Yep.
option. given that we know Dada is at the helm as director of cricket. So we have the options, and also the fact that we don't have that headache of retaining the overseas contingent. We know who are going to be there. With Stubbsy
Absolutely.
all set to be retained, JFM, even though that form is not there, but still I feel he can be bought back, or we can use that RTM as well. So I feel Delhi has the best advantage when we are entering in the auction, probably for the first time.
Pretty much agree to this point just because we have such a set team, especially the retained players. We can do the same. But Orko, the team you defeated in the IPL final, the Sunrisers Hyderabad, what a massive squad they had last time around, especially the overseas section. The biggest difficulty will be for them is to pick the best 5 or 6 retention players, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they will favor, retaining more overseas players than Indian players if they possibly can. But I think there will be a limitation of overseas players, like maybe around three will be the maximum, or maybe two will be at max what they
I
can
think two.
retain, or probably two. So in that case, I think Klaassen and one among Head or Cummins would become an automatic choice because both of them give a lot on the table because Cummins is a fabulous captain. He's young and he's obviously an all-rounder, a class bowler who has done well, reasonably well in this IPL as well. And Head, we all know that he's the cheat code that most of the teams don't have in the power play, and also he can bowl a bit. So certainly they will look to do one among those two among those three players. But I think they will obviously be pretty much decided upon their Indian contingent because it's pretty obvious they'll retain Abhishek, maybe Nitish Reddy and Natarajan as well. Maybe they may not retain Bhuvi this time around unless they decide to keep Bhuvi for a very low price because we know that he's slowly getting closer to the end of his prime or maybe he's past his prime. So I think they will settle a deal with him if they have to retain him at a very lower price or maybe look to buy him back. But I think they will prioritize this trio of Abhishek, Nitish, and Natarajan.
If Pat Cummins is captain, I'm sure he will remain as the captain. Then is it Henrik Klassen or is it Travis Head who is going to be the second retained overseas?
Has to be Klassen. I mean, what Klassen brings to the table is unbelievable, and he's someone who is perhaps at the moment the most deadliest ball striker at the moment. So he's someone who can also give you a bit of keeping. And if you even look at the availability factor, South Africans are a little more available for the IPL than the Aussies. So I think that also will be a factor they'll look at, and there's no way they are going to let Klassen enter the auction.
That could be he could break the bank. To be honest, one of the most costliest players could be turn out to be if Henrik Klassen is there in the IPL auction. But Deepu, Wanindu Hasaranga, since the time he was released by Royal Challengers Bangalore, he's not finding a consistency in any of the IPL franchisee. Last year also he couldn't make it to the playing 11 of Sunrisers Hyderabad. Then the problem arose for Sri Lanka. I'm sure he will be released by Sunrisers Hyderabad this time around as well. Which team, or do you think this time around he will get a set squad or a set franchisee to get game time?
I feel Chennai can be an ideal option given that he can offer with the bat. Theekshana is a great bowler, but when it comes to batting and fielding, he's equally awful. So I think Chennai is a perfect venue for him. Chepauk, as we all know, is the spinner's paradise, and for Hyderabad also, I think they'll be the most. They'll be that side, that will get the least amount of advantage, given that we have a WTC coming up and the Champions Trophy just before that. So Aussies and Britishers all are unpredictable. So I think they'll have to think about it. Coming to Asranga, I think Chennai or even Bengaluru can buy him back because Bengaluru were also
A little
light on spinners
Lucknow
this year.
Super Giants, maybe.
LSG, I think it's Bishnoi will be leading the pack. Maybe Krunal Pandey can be an option again who can be retained, but Lucknow, ideally, given that the surface has changed a lot from last year, so I think it will be Chennai. And secondly, I think it will be Bengaluru who will be looking for a smart bowler and someone who can bat as well.
Okay, fair enough. But now coming to another franchisee, Gurpalji, coming to you, we have seen in the recent past a picture of Sanjeev Goenka and KL Rahul clicking a picture together, which makes it certain that KL Rahul remains with the Lucknow Super Giants. Things have turned, the tables have turned pretty much now.
Yes, the tables have slowly turned about happened the last year, and This time KL Rahul going all the way to Kolkata to meet Mr. Goenka. I guess KL Rahul would be retained as a batsman, but not the captain. KL Rahul won't be the captain for NSG this time. They are happy to retain him
Wow,
as a
that
player,
is
but
something bold. Yeah.
not a captain. So they have Rohit Sharma if he comes into auction. They may have in their mind, and Nicholas Puran captain last year, so Nicholas Puran is also in their mind. Unless or until they get any good Indian player for after all captaincy material, they may go for Nicholas Puran as a captain.
Okay, fair enough. So Lucknow Super Giants have a little bit of problem, I would say, and they have the job to be done at the auction table. Now comes the big team, the team that has one of the biggest fan base, the biggest franchisee, dying to get an IPL trophy. Orko, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Can they make a sensible auction, mega auction, everything at its stake? Some retained players pick themselves, but can they use their head just like Delhi Capitals franchise? We always say at the auction table and pick a good squad, not something like an always have a batting heavy side, not a bowling heavy side, not a batting balanced one. Do you think they can?
Well, at some point of time, they should, more than being they can. I think they would want to do that because it's been a long time. Like it's almost 2 decades since the IPL started, and they have been nowhere near the trophy. And it's pretty sad that a team which has a player like Kohli hasn't got their hands on the trophy just yet. And for the loyalty that he has shown and for the performances that he has brought for the team, I think that's the least you can give to just the player, if not the entire team. So I think they really need to pull their socks up, and to start with, not just the auction, their retention should also make sense, because you know that someone like Kohli is an automatic retention. But maybe if they look at the future, they need to think beyond someone like a Maxwell, because his form was awful and he's also old right now and also injury prone. So I think that they may look at someone like Cam Green or Will Jacks, grooming them for the future, keeping them because they have that asset in them. Because Will Jacks can take the game away from you with his bat, with the ball also is pretty handy. He's young also. Same with Cameron Green. So I think that the fact that they got him from a trade is certainly beneficial, and they should not let him go into the auction and back him for a significant period. So it starts with the retentions, and if they make a good amount of retentions, then they have a lot of things to concentrate. They need a few good bowlers to say. You can even talk about a good spinner. They have let go on Chahal in the past. They let go Hasaranga in the past, and now they're dependent on someone like Swapnil and Karan Sharma. So I think they need a premier spinner. Like Dipansh rightly said, Hasaranga might be an option they look at, or maybe an Indian spinner who is available. So they have a lot of work to do.
Absolutely, and I think Bangalore, the biggest brain fade moment they have done is releasing a Yuzvendra Chahal kind of a talent, to be honest. But as you said about Glenn Maxwell, they have to see beyond him. Gurpalji, I'll come to you, and my question adding up to that is that the similar question arises: do they have to see somebody beyond Faf Duplessis, the player, as well as the captain as well?
Yes, they are definitely looking far to Plessis won't get retained by RCB as well as Maxwell. So they are looking for Rajat Patidar could be a captain, or they may ask Virat Kohli as well.
Rajat
That he's
Patidar, the
retired.
captain.
Yeah, he's Rajat Patidar as a captain, or they might go for ask Virat Kohli as well as a to ask him as he now retired from the T20s, no burden. So they may ask, but if Kohli says no, then Rajat Patidar. They are strongly looking after Ishan Kishan as a wicketkeeper, opening batsman. They are also interested in KL Rahul. That solves it. There are three problems: opening batsman, wicketkeeper, and could be a captain for RCB.
So you think that RCB management has already given a little bit of PR payment to the Bengaluru fans, because we seen in the recently concluded Duleep Trophy that the fans were already cheering for KL Rahul to come to RCB. But Deepu, coming to you, he said a little bit about Ishan Kishan being the wicket keeper there and other captains. But if Virat Kohli gets the leadership back, another rally of bike rally is on the cards. To be honest, in the streets of Bengaluru.
Well, the streets will be filled, but again, they'll be going a step backwards, to be honest. With Virat now retired, and he has obviously led the side, even in Fab's absence last year, I think due to a shoulder injury, it was Virat who was captaining the side.
Yeah.
So who's the successor now? Because Virat won't be there for the eternity. He'll also be hanging up his boots, and yes, the fitness is there, but he is also a human. He'll be maybe for another 3 4 years. That's it, and he'll be also hanging up its boots maybe along with Rohit. So if you are going with Virat again as the captain, I mean that's a step which is taking them backwards. That's what Arko said. That IPL has been around. It's been 20 years since the IPL started, and now again you're making the guy a captain who has led the side in the past. We have seen his prime, we have seen his downfall, and now we are again seeing his prime as well. So I feel it's important that they get the youth in. Maybe Shan Kishan as the captain, Patidar, that experience of whether he has captained in the domestic cricket. There is a stark difference between domestics and in the IPL. So I feel Kishan can be a great option as a captain and as a keeper, because he can get multiple things onto the table, uh, and someone with a keeper guiding from behind the stumps. I think that's what RCB needs more than a batter being a captain or a bowler being a captain. So I feel that they should rather target Ishan, or if they can get a homeboy KL Rahul back in. So I think that most of the things in terms of captaincy can be sorted out. But again, it's the auction tactics which they'll be going through in the IPL, in the auctions with their bowling stuff. I think that's need to be looked upon, because RCB and auctions have a very sad story, and a
Absolutely.
very meme creating story for us. So yeah, whether they'll make us laugh or whether they'll go us all, that's to be seen.
Absolutely. You said so many points because there are so many things to look into RCB's problem, and Gurpalji will come to you. But my question, as Deepu said, so many pointers, my simple question before you start speaking is that what is the real problem for RCB? Is it their captaincy or does it start all the way from their management?
So I guess it's a bit of management because they focus more on the big names and batting heavy team rather than a bowling team. You can win tournaments by having a good bowling attack. That's we have seen what KKR did last year and what Chennai and Mumbai and other franchises are doing. Whenever any team has won, even SRS, whenever they have won the tournament, they have a good bowling attack to back up with the strong batting. Because if you
Yeah.
and that we know the reason. If you can restrict opposition, your batters can do the job easily. So as again due to captaincy thing which we are talking about and Deepu also giving points, there is one another development which can happen if because Surya Kumar is the Indian captain and if Mumbai goes with Hardik Pandya as the captain, Surya may leave Mumbai and Surya could be targeted by RCB as the captain. They can go for
Okay.
Surya as well. Yes, they can go for Surya as well. Captain, number three players, number top T20 batsman with that Chinnaswamy ground, and he knows how to get good from the youngsters, and his captaincy skills are also very good. We have seen against Australia series and recently
Ag-
the Sri Lanka series.
Agreed, but I don't think so. Surya is moving from Mumbai Indians, to be honest, and that's
Time
where
will
my
tell.
next question
Time will
comes.
tell. Let the
Absolutely,
time tell.
time
Time will
will
tell.
time will tell a lot of answer questions and answers, Paji. We absolutely
Arco
agree.
will be very happy because Arco's franchise KKR also have given them the unofficial request to Surya to come and join KKR as a captain. So Surya has obviously got some requests from RCB and KKR. So it's a mad auction. It's going to be a mad auction.
Okay, that's the reason why while you were speaking, I was noticing him. He has a little bit of smile on his face when you're talking about Surya Kumar Yadav.